Hello everybody, this is SeibenLore bringing you more World of Warcraft lore. Today I want to explore another question I received regarding class and race combinations in WoW. That question is, what is the lore behind Worgen Druids? If the people of Gilneas were basically just humans, then why can they become Druids when other humans cannot? So let me begin with discussing a little bit about the origin of the Worgen curse. So the Worgen curse originated with the Night Elf people early in Azeroth's history. There was a sect of Druid who worshipped the ancient spirit Worgen, known as the Druids of the Pack. Showing their respect for their great spirit of nature, the Druids took the form of the Worgen. The other Druids saw this transformation taking place and decided to trap this order of the Pack in order to control the spread of its influence. The Worgen were put under a deep sleep and placed underneath a tree, away from the rest of the world for eternity. Eventually, the power of the Worgen would break free thanks to the influence of the Archmage Argyle, who sought to use him as a weapon against the encroaching Scourge. The mage could not control the beast like he thought he could, and eventually they turned on their master and slayed his fellow mages. With the Worgen now free in Silverpine Forest, the city of Gilneas was in the crosshair of the beasts. Gilneas is a city of humans who were once strong members of the Alliance, but due to political differences, the leaders of this kingdom decided to defect. The Gilneans sought to seclude themselves from the rest of the world and the ever-probing hand of Stormwind. So with that, they built a huge wall surrounding their kingdom, known as the Greymane Wall. Isolated from the rest of the world, the citizens of Gilneas had to struggle to survive off resources found within their walls. Living cut off from the other kingdoms resulted in many of the citizens following the old ways of their people, which can be described as a paganistic style religion. These pagans of the old ways were in tune with nature and used simple nature spells to help grow crops and improve their harvest from inside the Greymane Wall. So these humans did manage to practice a very primitive form of Druidism, but the practice and pagan religion were not socially acceptable, and so they went underground. Soon the walls of Gilneas became overrun with the feral Worgen, spreading the Worgen curse to all those who were bitten by the creatures. King Greymane ordered that his people retreat further into their kingdom, in hopes of outrunning the epidemic. But this was futile. More and more of the Gilneans fell under the Worgen curse and were referred to as the Gilnean Worgen. These Gilnean Worgens were trapped and experimented on by the royal chemist. The chemist discovered a chemical compound which gave the Gilnean Worgens a small portion of their sanity back. This imperfect cure gave the Worgens the ability to control their bloodlust and communicate with their fellow Gilneans. With the coming of the Cataclysm, Gilneas experienced devastating failures to their defensive wall. With this new breach, the Forsaken approached in order to sack the once mighty human city. The Forsaken sought to turn many of the human citizens into other undeads to be introduced back into the armies of the Forsaken to bolster their ranks. The Forsaken found that those Gilneans who had been infected with the Worgen curse were not easily converted into undead, making it extremely hard for them to resupply their troops. The Gilneans also discovered this surprising benefit of the curse, and many decided to willingly infect themselves with the curse in order to spare themselves from being raised as undead. The partially cured Worgens of Gilneas were not enough to save the embattled city, however. The persistent Forsaken and feral Worgen were gaining ground at an alarming rate. With little choice, Greymane and others reached out to their old alliances and asked for aid from Stormwind and the Night Elves. The Alliance, always looking to halt the advancement of the Forsaken, came to Gilneas' aid. Those forces were also accompanied by the Druids of the Scythe, a group of Night Elves who originally controlled their Druid of the Pack brothers. These Night Elves understood the curse, and believed that they could cure it in the humans who were becoming infected. After rescuing the citizens of Gilneas, the Night Elf Druids performed a powerful ritual on the humans in hopes of them fully gaining their humanity back. The Night Elves felt responsible for this tragedy, because they were the ones who originally channeled the form of Worgen. This ritual gave the Gilnean Worgens full control over their sanity. Not only were they in control of their minds, but they could also control their bodies' transformations as well. They could regain their human bodies, but intense situations and adrenaline would always cause the Worgen form to appear again. With their minds completely cleared of the madness, Greymane and his people were offered a place in the Alliance once again, which he readily accepted. Now that the Worgen are part of the Alliance once again, many of their citizens chose to continue their paths as they did before they transformed. This was same for the pagan naturalists who helped grow crops in Gilneas. These crude Druids now had the body they needed to perform full transformations. And with the aid of the Night Elf Druids, they trained and became skilled Druids. They could now transform into other forms, and not just their Worgen form. they had become full-fledged Druids. And why can't other humans become Druids while Ghanaian humans and Worgens could? Well, there are some accounts of human Druids in history. It takes a lot of practice and dedication to learn the art of nature spells, not to mention resources not readily available to most humans. The pagans of Gilneas only had a crude understanding of Druidism, but after many years of practice, they became pretty good at it. Now with the Night Elf Druids feeling responsible for their transformation, they allowed the Gilneans access to all of the information and training needed to become skilled Druids. So, there you have it. The lore behind why Gilnean Worgens can play as Druids while other humans cannot. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video and want to see more, please hit that like button. It helps out a lot. If you have any other questions about World of Warcraft lore, please leave them in the comments below. And as always, I'll see you next time.